Hello and welcome to Commander Budgeteer, creating inexpensive commander decks on a budget so that you can play the best format in Magic without breaking the bank, and all for the price of about a pre-con deck. If you like the show, be sure to hit that subscribe button as it really helps the channel out and it's at no cost to you. Now, let's jump straight into our commander for the day. Today we are looking at Golos Tireless Pilgrim. He has that ability that when he comes into the battlefield, you can search for a land and put it in play, which will be nice because we are going to need a ton of fixing with Golos. Obviously, the main reason we are playing him is because of that second ability, which says for 2 generic and 1 of every single color, we can exile the top 3 cards of our library and play those for free. It is nice that it says may, so that if we flip a board wipe, we do not necessarily have to play this, and there are almost infinite ways that we are going to play Golos, or that you could build Golos. So I'll jump into the way that I have built him. It'll be around $40 coming in at the price of a pre-con so that you can play this great format, as I said before, very cheaply. So let's look first at our first set of cards. We are going to play the 5 Primordials. I love the 5 Primordials. They are all coming in at 7 CMC and 2 of whatever color they are, and they have some sort of ETB. So for example, you see the Sepulchral Primordial here, which is in black. When he enters the battlefield, for each opponent, you may put up to 1 target creature card from that player's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. They are all not maybe quite that strong, but you're going to get 3 free creatures out of other players' graveyards, and if it's late game, that could be some insane stuff. And again, with Golos, our goal is to play these things for free off the top of our library. I love the Primordial package, and that's the first bomb plays that we have. Also, we have another cycle. I like playing complete cycles when I build a deck like this. We have the 5 Ultimatums. They're coming in at 3 color combos each. And for example, we see the Cruel Ultimatum here. All of these are 7 CMC, 2 of one color, 2 of another color, and 3 of a third. Target opponent sacrifices a creature, discards 3 cards, then loses 5 life. You return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand, draw 3 cards, then gain 5 life. So they all have very big effects because they are 7 CMC and with crazy casting costs, but we are going to try to cheat those into play and never cast them from our hand. So Golos, as you can see already, gives us the potential for some big bomb plays that are going to be awesome. But if we do draw into those big plays, we are going to want some ways to stack the deck with Golos. So a couple of my favorites, there are some very good budget options for this. If you look at Penance, it's an enchantment for 2 and a white, so it sticks around. At any time, you can choose a card from your hand and put that card on top of your library, and then prevent all damage from a black or red source. So how that works is, as long as there is a black or red source on the table, you can declare that and essentially at any time put a card from your hand on top of your library, which will allow us to play even multiple of those big cards. If we get them into our hand, we can put them on top. Descendant of Soramaro can put in a bunch of work for just 2 mana. It's going to let us scry to as many cards as we have in our hand. And that's really insane. And then we have also the Crystal Ball, which I like to call the poor man's Sensei's Divining Top. For 1, we can tap it and scry 2. Again, very effective. Lets us put those little things on the bottom, all for the sake of playing Golos's big ability. So if we're going to play that big ability, it does cost 7 mana. So we're going to need mana of every color. So we're going to play a bunch of ramp in this deck. And our first package we're going to look at is Talismans and Signets. So we essentially have a combination of Talismans and Signets based on whatever's cheapest to get all 10 of the guilds represented. So you can see a couple of examples here. They're fairly straightforward. I think artifacts are fairly safe. Obviously, you could switch this out for some green ramp if you like, but I do like having artifacts on the board that tap. These all come in at 2 and will help us fix pretty well. So this is a pretty easy package to adjust if you had some green ramp spells that could go get basic lands and things like that, which would be nice. But we're not just going to limit ourselves to artifacts and those 10 artifacts. We are also going to have some chump blockers that either fix or ramp us. So for example, I like looking at the district guide. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land card or gate card and reveal it and put it in your hand, then shuffle your library. So if you are playing a budget mana base, I highly recommend you put in the 10 guild gates, and that will allow you to go get 2 colors essentially. And whenever you're, especially in the early game, trying to fix, being able to go get 2 colors of any kind can be pretty clutch. So I like District Guide and things like Gatecreeper Vine and the Coiling Oracle as well. Again, just finding us a few more ways to hit those colors we need. Now, also another way that we could help hit those colors would be to draw cards. We're going to want to do that anyway. Every deck wants to draw cards, but all of our card draw spells revolve around one of two themes. One, either stacking the deck, such as Brainstorm, or a personal favorite, the Riverwise Augur, which when he enters the battlefield, you draw 3 and put 2 from your hand back on top of your library, which if you have enough mana, essentially says play 2 cards for 7 mana and cheat them in. Or we also have several enchantments, such as Elemental Bond, that says whenever a creature with power 3 or greater comes into the battlefield, draw a card. So potentially those are going to draw us 3, 4, 5 cards throughout the course of a game. We are going to be flipping a bunch of big stuff into play. And so hopefully those things will be able to put in a lot of work for us. Because even when we cast them with Golos, they are still going to enter the battlefield. Now onto just some bones of the deck, some classic things that all deck needs, starting with removal. You can see we have cards like Utter End, and I like to include Generous Gift and Beast Within, giving us the ability to destroy any target permanent. So those are very good, and even though Generous Gift and Beast Within give your opponent a 3/3 and they are 3 manas, they can come out at instant speed, which is very nice. And again, they hit any permanent, which is allowing us to just be really flexible with our removal packages. It's one of the advantages of playing 5 colors. And I also just threw in Swords to Plowshare and a Murder. So again, if you're trying to pick up maybe just a few pieces of this deck, any removal package would be fine, especially since we have all 5 colors. Now, another thing pretty much every single deck is going to want is a couple of board wipes. I picked out 3, and the reason I picked these 3 is because they all 3 revolve around keeping Golos alive, because we don't really want to have to be spending a lot of mana to recast him. So Time Wipe, we can cast and return a creature you control to its owner's hand, so we at least get to cast him at a reduced cost and then destroy all other creatures. Urza's Ruinous Blast, sometimes good, sometimes not, depending on what else is out there on the board, but we'll keep alive Golos, and then obviously Dune Blast, we could choose Golos, or if we had something else that just seemed really crucial, we could keep that. Now, a couple ways we could win the game outside of playing just big creatures. In Garruk's Wake and Plague Wind are all completely one-sided board wipes. They cost 9 CMC, so we're not really going to try to play these again without Golos's ability. But if you can cast one of those in the late game and destroy all the rest of the board, you're set up for a lot of success. Gravepurge in this deck, absolutely insane. Put any number of target creatures from your graveyard on top of your library. At the late game, you can just pick your 3 strongest, put them on top, pay for Golos's cost, and put your 3 strongest things back onto the battlefield. And with those Primordials, we're going to get those ETBs again, and also wouldn't sleep on Diabolic Tutor. It's 4 CMC, lets you put a card from your library on top of your deck, but with Golos, that's going to be great because we can potentially play it in the same turn. Now, if we go over to TCG Player, we can see that this deck is going to cost us right at about $40, coming in at a pre-con price. And be sure to hit Optimize the Cart to do so and get that price. And you can check out the full deck list in the description. Thank you for joining me today. Again, if you liked what you saw and you want to see more videos, just hit that subscribe button. That's the easiest way to help me out. I'm really enjoying making these videos, and I hope you are too. So, with that being said, I hope you can pick up a good deck, maybe play some Golos, and I hope that you can have a great game of Commander this week, my friends. Have a good one. Also, if you would like some inspiration on how to build your mana base for this deck, and you're wanting to do it on a budget, go over to my other video and check out my $10 5-color mana base. Obviously, it's not the fastest, most efficient way, but it will hit you all of those colors in around 6 or 7 turns. So feel free to go check that out. And again, thanks for watching.